So, yes. Can you guys see my screen now?
Yes, I can see your screen.
Thank you very much for having me here, and thank you everyone for attending our first mentorship. And I hope like you guys still be joining us in the futures our mentorship program. So, well, basically for our first mentorship, like we would like to help you with your preparations and make a mapping preparation of your scholarships for this Erasmus Mundus. And first of all, I would like to know from all of you, what is your background before, and could you please like send into the chat, and so I can see like which one is from the social science or which one from this, like me, like from the background of science, because like we have a wide range of programs in this Erasmus Mundus. So maybe for the scientific, I can help further with it. But like for the social science, maybe Atifa can also help me to answer your questions. But yeah, well, please just send your comment in either in the WhatsApp or in here. And yeah. So basically, after I did some research about new regulations of Erasmus Mundus, this year, I think we have a big chance because like from the ASEAN country, such as from Indonesia and also Vietnam, Philippines, Singapore, we have a high chance rather than the other country. So I hope that you guys will try this year to get this master degree. So about the preparations, generally most of the documents that you need to prepare, and also what you need to do is first check this website, the iasia.ec Europa. This have a wide range of the programs that you really want to apply, and you guys can apply maximum is 3 programs. From like if this year you want to try, maybe you can try like maximum 3 programs, but at each link of the program that you are trying to apply, you need to also let them know that you also try the other programs. So yeah. And the second thing that you need to do is checking the suitable master that's also have a similar background with your passion and also your past background in it. And the documents that you need to prepare, like ID, passport. So you need to have a passport, and you need also have the university degree diploma, and make sure it is in the English. So yeah. You need to ask your own university to give you your English degree diploma. And of course, your transcript record, because like basically the transcript, it will be help you to get these scholarships, because the consortium will see your background and also your your grade. Yeah. And after all, you need to make a good letter motivations. And I give you some tips about this letter of motivations. In this letter motivations, make it briefly, but it's also concise, and it's complete, and it's also linear with your backgrounds, with your visions, and also with their missions. It should be a good narrative story about yourself, and also what's your trigger to apply the program that you want to apply to. And also you need to update your curriculum vitae. I'll give you the link of the CV from the Europass. And you need also the proof of English proficiencies. It depends on each programs. Like several programs need the Ielts test, which the band score, the best one is 7. But like if you have 6.5. It's also like a general Ielts that they will allow you to apply these master programs. And yeah, you also need some recommendation letters. And I hope you, for the recommendation letter, maybe you can ask your lectures, or if you have already worked, it's good if you also have the recommendation letter from your boss or your supervisors at your works before. And yeah, other documents such as if you have any other qualifications or skill certificates, you can also input it. It will be boost up your profile. And yeah, make sure you submit it before the deadline, because like what I experienced before, I just knew the mayor. So I am basically from marine environments, and I just knew that my program will be 3 days before. So like, yeah, I just have like 3 days for doing all of this stuff, and it was so hectic. And but like, yeah, luckily I got this chance for the master's degree. But yeah, I hope you guys can prepare before the deadline. So I think like currently the programs from the Erasmus Mundus hasn't been started. Maybe they will start around the December or January. So yeah, better you can prepare. And also for the English proficiency, it will be takes time to prepare this document as well. And yeah, so if you guys has already see the link that I showed you before, the www.eca.ez Europa. So here they have a lot of Erasmus Mundus programs, but you can also search through the keywords that you're really interested in. Like if you guys from the social science and you want like about psychology or something, you can just type your keywords, and it will be provide you some information and also give you a glimpse of several lists of the program itself. And yeah, like this, maybe if you check the link of the list in this EMJMD catalog, and it will be direct to the link of the program itself, like for the Erasmus Mundus joint degree in economic and globalizations and European integrations. They will go directly in here, and you can see like what's the detail of the program that you're interested into. And make sure you also check the criteria, because from my experience before, I have a background of renewable energy in the ocean before, but and I applied for the Erasmus Mundus renewable energy. But after I checked the criteria that they want, they just want the graduations. I mean, like they just want the student with the have Bachelor of Mechanical and also Engineering, whether in contrast, like I just have from the oceanography, it's far from the technical and engineer. So that's why they didn't pick me up, and they suggest me to apply the marine environments, and that's why like I just have 3 days to apply for the marine environments programs. But well, yeah, for the criteria, just make sure like your academic excellence, and also it's also good if you have already worked before, because it also enhances your opportunity to get these scholarships. And yeah, they also give you some scores, like if like this, like the criteria, they will pick the awardee, most of them from your academical and professional, and also from the motivation letter that you have before. So like, yeah, make sure your motivation letter also good, and make sure that also linear with their missions. So, and also what's the course that they provide. So yeah, and here the one of the link from the MER consortiums. It's my consortium, my programs, marine environments. In their website, they also give guidelines, and also they have the own online application. So it depends on each consortium itself. Like some of the consortiums have the own online application. So in there you can apply it into your own programs and submit your own documents in that online application. But some of them want you to apply to their university itself, and you need to. Some of them also give you a charge of some the fee for applying. But for this, that's like not all of them, but in my case, I'm not paying at all when I try to apply. And they just like give a link for the online applications, and yeah, I just submit it. Like here, this is the example of the link for me to upload and submit. And yeah, you guys can make sign up and also make your own name and profile. And yeah, here they have like the intros for the brief instructions, like what you need to do. And this is the link for if you want to submit several of the data. And you also need to know like what is your study plan. It depends on yourself. So here, like I just give you a general that I had already experienced before. But yeah, for the study plan, when you are trying to apply, it makes sure it also aligns with your motivation letter, what your goal after you getting this master's. And yeah, at the end, if you guys like in the second semester or third semester, you think like your passion difference, because like it's multidisciplinary programs, you can also ask your consortium supervisors when you have already got this scholarship. So it's really flexible for changing your study plan. But yeah, for the first, yeah, you also need to know like what's your course that you take and the grants, fellowship, and so on. So maybe I can I can give you an example of my Erasmus Mundus link. So this is the online application. Sorry for my, yeah. So this is the catalog that I showed you before. Here, the catalog, you can sort like maybe you are from language programs, you can sort like this, or maybe you have central idea like you want to go to just or maybe married. Yeah, here like there are a lot of programs that have a topic about marine, and yeah, you can check. And if you want like go to just a certain country that you want, you can also select your field of study or the university that you want, something like that. So yeah, it can be adjustable what you really want. But yeah, after that, if I took the marine environment like these programs and I click it, and there are a lot of information about it, and I try to online application. Yeah, this is my online application. So I may go log in here. So here they have informations about like what I need to input, submit my documents, something like that. So yeah, just make sure it is in the PDFs, and also in my case, because my Erasmus Mundus Marine Environment, it has already started 15 years ago. So they have a lot of information for if you fail for getting the Erasmus Mundus joint degree from the European Union, you can also apply for the other grant, either from the university or the grant they have. But for me, because I applied for Erasmus Mundus, so I applied to this site. And for the revised study here, because I want study before about marine debris, I say that maybe my tutor will be here, and I need to take like several courses. This is like the fundamental course that I need to take, but the others I can change in here. So it's really flexible. And and you guys need to make a Europass, your CV in the Europass. This is the link. I think this is the CV. In here, like you just input your information, and it can also tailor your CV in a good way, and you can submit it into your own program. So that's all for me. Maybe you have a questions, please give your questions in the chat, or maybe, I don't know, like for the questions, it will be at the end of this webinar, or?
Oh yeah, thank you so much, Ochi, for the
Thank you.
For the practicality on how to choose the program. Yeah, that's how the interface of the Erasmus Mundus Joint Master Degree Catalog. In my case, I was just type education, and I was I found like Marihe for the higher education program, and then Petal for early childhood, and then there is like global education policy, and there is one more this year, I guess, or last year. So basically, when you found like similar program that you are interested in, like the education in my case, you can just take a look at it, and then like, oh, there are 4 programs that's similar, and then you can sort it out and check which one is more suitable for you, and then you can finally apply for maximum 2, right? 2 programs.
And we need also to let them know if we are also applying for the other program, right?
And at the very end, when you got accepted for both programs, for example, if you are very, very good in the application, you still need to pick one. So you cannot do like 2 masters. It's going to be like double join. That's a lot. So, okay. This session question and answer session will be at the end of the both speakers. Now we are going to have Ainur. Ainur, are you here? I thought like you're having breakfast, like big breakfast, like Ainur. Oh, no. Oh, it's in Kazakh. It's lunch.
It's around lunchtime, yes.
Yeah, lunchtime.
So, just give me a moment. Sorry, guys, I'm not a very good person in technology in general.
While you're preparing for that, I will just introduce Ainur, because Yochi is already here since last week, so you know all. You may already know Ochi, and now I will introduce Ainur. So Ainur is basically my classmate. She was a teacher and joining Petal, and now she's back as a teacher. So now I'll bring you English teacher here. Like as a teacher, so you're gonna learn a lot from how to prepare yourself for the English test. And then you're Ainur.
Thank you. So I'm very glad to be here, and I hope this presentation helps. Well, I'm the person who took Ielts 7 times. So I've taken Ielts in 2 different countries. I've taken the computer-based test. I've taken the paper-based test. So hopefully I'll be able to share my knowledge. So this is my name, yes, and the picture is not me. I just liked it, so ignore that. So let's start with what Ielts is in general. So probably many of you know that Ielts stands for International English Language Testing System, and it's one of the most recognized English tests around the world. I think only TOEFL can be sorry, just a second. See, I'm telling you, I'm not very good at technology. So give me a moment. Tifa.
Sorry. Need help?
How come? Yeah. Oh yeah, sorry. So it's one of the most recognized English tests. I think only TOEFL is comparable to Ielts. So it is mainly intended for people who are moving abroad for studying or for work. So by taking this test, people can prove their sufficient level of English required for employment or university studies. So there are two modes of this test. There is a general IELTS test and an academic test. Since you're applying for Erasmus Mundus, you need to make sure that you apply for the academic one. The academic one allows you to undertake an undergraduate or postgraduate level of studies at universities across the world. When you fill out the forms, you need to make sure that you put academic, and the same goes for the test itself. While you're filling in the paper version of the test, you need to make sure that you put academic, not general, because some people made that mistake. Okay, oh, sorry. So as you know, there are four main domains that the test is intended to check. So listening, reading, writing, and speaking. Let's start with listening. The overall test takes around 2 hours, 45 minutes, and listening takes about 30 minutes. Just a moment. When we talk about listening structure, so for those 30 minutes, you have different conversations, different recordings. And the first part of the listening is like a conversation for random details, and it checks your ability to understand the process of giving and receiving information. So for example, you would have a conversation over the phone and people would share details like phone numbers, card details, and you have to write them down very quickly. So for example, what else can be there? Some minor details like spelling of the names and spelling of the surnames. That's the first part of the listening test. Then you would have an information talk or a general talk. For example, there is a tour guide talking about different facilities. So you need to write down that information. Then you'd have a dialogue or an educational conversation between, usually it's like in the form of a dialogue between students. They usually discuss courses or tutorials, and like the vocabulary is a bit more scientific, I would say. And the last one is a monologue about something scientific or academic. For example, there is a lecture, well, I think I've heard one about marine biology, and something about archaeology and so on. So you listen for details. Usually you have to write down some like difficult words as well. So it's important that your vocabulary is on point. What else can I say? So just a second. These are just my personal listening tips. So to prepare for listening, it's good to listen to music in English, watch videos on YouTube. This one is particularly useful because you can turn on the subtitles and you can regulate the speed, especially now it's there's an option available. You can slow it down, you can make it faster, and it's a very useful tool for improving your listening skills. In general, IELTS test is not only about your English skills, it's more about knowing the structure of the text, preparing beforehand and researching different strategies, because there are plenty of different strategies. Sometimes they work for you personally, sometimes they don't, so you need to make sure that you come up with different strategies that work for you. So like, for example, my personal strategies when it comes to listening, since I prepared using lots of materials, I don't know, maybe you've heard of was it IELTS 7, 8, 9, and so on. They're like practice tests. Usually in one book, there are 4 different practice tests, and they follow exactly the format of the real test. Even when the recording is played, giving the instructions is the same way, so you get used to it and you don't really listen to instructions. So while the speaker is giving the instructions, I usually look through the booklet that is in front of you, the listening booklet. So I try to read the text, I highlight the important words, and I try to predict what's gonna come next. So for example, if you see that there is a sentence and you predict that there is a noun or an adjective, you just listen to it more attentively and you write it down, jot it down straight away. And take notes on your booklet. You're allowed to do that because examiners don't really look at the booklet, they look at the answer sheet. There's an important tip: if you miss the answer along the way, don't stop, never stop, because otherwise you will lose track of your thoughts and it would be far more difficult. That's why I try to go along with the tape, even if you missed an answer too, it's not critical. You can listen to other things, and at the end, what I do if I missed the answer, I would just go back and write what I think is the closest thing that I've heard. Listening part of the test presupposes that you have around some time at the end to write down your answers on the answer sheet. And yes, you can use that time to write down the answers. What else? So you do that with every part of the listening test. So you listen, you don't listen for the instructions, you just try to look through what your booklet says. Okay, so sorry. The second part of the IELTS test is reading. So in the reading part, you have 60 minutes to complete your reading test. So you have 3 texts altogether. Each of them, you should spend about 20 minutes on each of them. And they are getting increasingly harder. So if the first text is the easiest out of 3, the last one is the hardest. Let me show you the types of questions you usually have in the reading test. So usually there are multiple choice questions, identifying information questions, so identifying writer's view, matching information, matching headings, matching features, matching sentence endings, sentence completion, I don't know, summarizing, like completing notes, tables, flowcharts, maps, and so on, diagram label completion, and short answer questions. So there are various types of different reading tasks. You try to practice them while you're preparing for the test. For me personally, matching headings is one of the most difficult ones because the answers are very similar. So it's difficult to identify one that works for that particular question, but it also improves with practice. And as for my personal reading tips, while I'm reading, I try to read the questions and highlight keywords. So it's very important to read the questions. Otherwise, you're limited in terms of time. So you need to make sure that you squeeze in as much as possible in those 20 minutes for each text. So like I personally never read the entire text. I just skim through. And I highlight the words in the questions, and then I read the text, and so I go back and forth between the questions and the text itself. So and you do that and you try to complete it within given 15-18 minutes, so you can have like 2 spare minutes to look through your answers at the end. Instead of just focusing on reading just for the sake of it, I think it's better to focus on the IELTS preparation materials. So they are presented in abundance online, so you can find books and other sample tests. So you can try and work on the text, try to time yourself to make sure that you finish it within 20 minutes. And There's another personal tip. If you're out of time and you feel like you don't have enough time to read the entire text and to answer the questions quickly, you can just read the first sentence of each paragraph, and that would give you a general idea what the text is about. But it's just for emergencies if you feel like you're out of time. Okay, so that was the reading part, and then we can talk about speaking. Speaking is the shortest out of all sections. It only takes about 15 minutes. So here's a public version of the band descriptors. It is available online if you can find it in a better quality. So you know that there are like 9 bands, 9 being the highest and 0 being the lowest, meaning that you haven't even attempted the test, and 9 like if you are fully proficient in the language. So speaking, it assesses several things. So fluency and coherence. It assesses your lexical resource, your grammatical range and accuracy, and pronunciation. So here you can see for each one of these like areas, you can see different descriptors, and it can give you an idea of what you're supposed to be doing during the speaking test. Okay, so when it comes to fluency and coherence, your examiner will look at how fluent you are, so your ability to keep speaking if you need to hesitate or self-correct and repeat yourself to keep going. So try not to correct yourself too often. That's an obvious one. If you're stuck, don't repeat what you already said. Try to minimize the number of pauses, ahs, and so on, so different random sounds. If you use idioms, try to make it sound natural. Try to give full sentences and talk until the examiner stops you. If the examiner stops you, it's not a big deal. It doesn't mean that he doesn't like the answer or anything. It just means he's short of time. And when it comes to coherence, your examiner will look at how coherent you are, how you word your ideas, and if it flows naturally, if you're using a range of words and phrases to connect and organize your ideas. So for example, if you say firstly, secondly, and so on, so there's some order to your speech. So you can use some linking words, you can use different structures. By the way, this is also a useful tip. So when you're speaking, if you're asked the question, you can, so there's an idea, explanation, and example. Yeah, so for example, you have an idea, you explain it, and you set an example of that. The same goes for, this is a strategy called AREA. It is an acronym. So the first one is you answer the question, then you explain why you think that, then you set an example, and it's similar to this one. And if you feel like you need to give another example, you give an alternative example. So A stands for alternative example, and it's optional. So speaking bit is pretty straightforward. What else can I say? Lost the track of my thoughts. Sorry, just a second. Okay, and the last bit we're going to focus on is writing. It is also one of the hardest one, and I guess the most subjective one out of all sections, because depending on the examiner, you get one score or the other. So writing takes about 60 minutes because there are 2 tasks, and sorry, there are 2 tasks. So the first task is usually a description of a table or a graph. Okay, so it's a description of a table or a graph, and you need to write at least 150 words. So usually when you're describing a graph or a chart, you don't need to give like detailed information because the examiner is looking for like general trends. So you usually say what's like the average, you say what's the highest point, what's the lowest point, and so on. So you give like general details. Again, there are some descriptors. I'll show them to you later. So again, the examiner is looking for coherence and cohesion. So you need to make sure that you organize your writing properly. You put the paragraphs and organize your text in an orderly manner. You use cohesive devices, you use pronouns, conjunctions, articles. So you use referencing and substitution. So referencing is ability to correctly replace a noun or a noun phrase with a pronoun. So that's a common one, yes. Instead of saying, for example, a particular name, you replace it with he or she, or the same goes with the terms. You don't repeat the same word. Substitution is using substitute forms for words and phrases instead of repeating the same thing over and over again. So try rephrasing things, try to use different synonyms, try to find ways of expressing the same idea in other words. So that's the task number 1. As far as I remember, the task number 2 is more important than task number 1 because it claims more points. And it's a bit more lengthy. You have to write 250 words. And here you develop your ideas, so it's longer. So you develop your position and explain your position. So you try to develop your ideas. Again, the same goes for paragraphing. It's very important using cohesive devices, referencing and substitution and so on. Usually the second task, essay number 2, it needs a clear structure of introduction, body, and a conclusion. A very spread kind of essay. So I wanted to show you the descriptors. So here are descriptors. Again, they are available publicly. So the first one here. So task achievement, coherence, cohesion, lexical resource, grammatical range, and accuracy. Task achievement is very important in this part of the exam. When you're given a question, you need to make sure that you answer the question exactly as it is posed. If you start digressing from the topic, it might cost you some points. So try to stick to the task. Okay, coherence and cohesion, we said that the ideas flow from one another. Make sure that your sentences are not chopped. Make sure that one paragraph flows into another one, so it makes sense, and indicate that with the words that you're nearing towards the end, for example, using phrases like to sum up, in conclusion, and so on. So the examiner will know that you're concluding your piece of writing. Lexical resources, try to use interesting vocabulary, try to use I don't know, phrasal verbs if they are appropriate, and so on, just to show that you do have that range of vocabulary. Collocation can be a good idea as well. So grammatical range and accuracy, make sure that you pay attention to tenses. If you're writing in one tense, try to stick to it. Try to think about the sequence of tenses. So don't use like past and future in the same sentence. This is, so here's writing band description for task 1, and there's a similar one for task 2. If we are to talk about types of essays, like the first one I described, I told you about the charts and flow charts and graphs and so on. And the second essay, the one that is longer and costs you more points, there are varying types of essays you can write for that one. So there are opinion essays, discussion essays, solution essays, direct question essays, advantage and disadvantage essays. So for example, in opinion essays, they clearly ask you, for example, to what extent do you agree or disagree? It just, the examiner wants you to explain your opinion in that particular one. So discussion essay, so you think of like pros and cons and so on. In the solution, you give a solution and so on. The range of topics also varies. So there are plenty of different topics. It can range from art, technology, traveling, business, money, from all sorts of topics in your ordinary life to some scientific ones to do with studies and so on. Okay, so in terms of lexical resources, as I said, try to think of the topic vocabulary, try to use less common words, use collocations. In terms of grammatical range, different tenses, conditionals, neither, either, used to, having been, and so on, other grammatical structures you can think of. So as I planned for my writing test, so first of all, what I did was I got to know different question types, the ones I showed you before. If you are hesitant and you think that you don't know some of the grammatical structures, make sure that you go over them using some books or I don't know, some workbooks just to drill them through. Learn some topic words, high lexis words, collocations, and the most important one is practice. You can read as much as possible about different types of essays and so on, but if you don't attempt writing them out, it's all in vain. So you need to make sure that you practice your writing, try to time yourself as well. So you have 20 minutes on the first task and you have 40 minutes for the second task because it's longer. During the test, make sure that you count the number of words. If you're doing the paper-based, you need to make sure that you count the number of words. Otherwise, if it's less than 150 for the first task and less than 250 for the second task, it costs you some points. It's better when you do it like if you do the computer-based test, because there's a little a tool that tells you how many words you've written, so it's much easier. But if you're doing the paper-based one, make sure that you count the number of words. Oops, sorry. So I was so try to find some samples of different writings on the internet. That's what helped me a lot, because I would find other people's answers and I would look at them and see what went wrong, why they were given such a low score or such a high score. And I would look for specific grammatical structures. I would look at paragraphing and so on. So looking at someone else's work might actually help. So you can just find examples for each kind of essay and try to write your own, try to mimic what other people have done. I wanted to show you the general, just a second, I'll stop the demonstration and I'll do it here. Okay, so you've probably seen this table, the overall descriptor. Here it is. So on any website of the British Council or like of any Ielts organization, you can find this. So it shows you what level the Ielts corresponds in when it comes to CFR, framework of references. So okay, so if you go higher, so for example, so each one of this tells you which level you are on, which band score you're on, and it kind of gives you a rough idea what you're supposed to get and what you should strive for. So usually people who are applying to universities, they need band scores starting from like band 5 to band 8 if it's a very selective university. and I can show also the scoring in details, how the scores are given. I remember the times when they only did like 5, 6, 7, 8 without 0.5s, but now, thank God, they do the points. So you have a chance to get like 6.5 or 7.5 and so on. And whenever they have to round the number, they usually round it up. So here, even if it's 6.25, they still round it to 6.5. And the same goes here. So it's just the way that the band scores are placed. In terms of conducting the test in general, all these three sections, listening, reading, and writing, they take place one after another. So you would have it on the same day, in the same place, usually. When it comes to speaking, it can be put on the same day, or it can be put like 2 days in advance, or maybe 2 days after the main test. So it really depends on the test organization you're taking IELTS at. And I think I've pretty much covered everything I know.
Okay.
So I guess it would be easier with the questions. If you have some questions, yeah,
Sure,
I'd gladly answer them. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I know that's super complete. That I learned a lot.
Thank you.
I wish that you were my mentor during my IELTS preparations. I mean, like that's very useful. Like the tips, your personal tips. I just knew that as well. But I didn't do that. That's why.
Yeah.
So yeah, everyone here, if you want to have questions to Ochi or to Ainur, anything related to the programs, how to go there, check or pick the program, and how to do the IELTS or English test in general, you can just ask question, raise your hand, and you can open the camera and open your mic, and I will let you speak directly to the speakers today, to the mentors. So yeah, if anyone want to ask questions, you can just directly ask questions by raising your hand. Anyone? So I know you have taken tests for like 7 times. Really?
Sounds bad.
But yeah, that's very persistent. It costs a lot. I mean, like IELTS costs a lot.
That's the thing. I started taking the test when it wasn't that expensive. It was ages ago. The first IELTS test I took was back in 2009, I think.
Oh, really?
I was graduating from school, so that was the first time. And it was like a competition or something. And like you win an opportunity to take an IELTS test for free. So
that's why it is nice.
I took the opportunity by the forelock. So I was like, yes, I'm going to take the test, even though I had no idea about the format, about the structure. So I just went
you get familiar with that. Yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't prepared at all, but it was a great opportunity to practice it, to see what it's like. And after that, I was more conscious about what I'm preparing for and what I'm doing before the test. So yeah. But it expires every 2 years, so you kind of have to retake it all the time if you want to use.
Mine is already expired. That's why I need to take one if I want to.
Yeah. Actually, I also tried to apply the new IELTS indicator. Have you ever tried that one, Ainur?
Which one? Sorry,
the IELTS indicator, the online one.
Oh, not sure. I've taken the computer-based IELTS last year, if that's what you're talking about. Because remember, no. Remember how IELTS was always paper-based, so you had to write it on paper. But I think because of COVID and because of regulations, last year they introduced the computer-based, at least in Kazakhstan, and I've taken that one. So it is pretty similar in terms of the format and everything. It's just everything is on the computer. There are pros and cons. It's much easier to do listening on a computer because you just type it in straight away. And reading is also much easier because first of all, you're typing, and secondly, you have that tool. You don't have to go over frantically and count all the words. So that was a good part. The same with reading, it's easier because the screen is divided into two parts, and on the first part you have the text, on the second part you have the questions, and it's much easier to navigate rather than leafing back and forth when you have the paper-based test. But the major drawback for me was the speaking test, because I find it easier when you see the person and it's easier to connect with the person. But when I was taking my speaking test, it was over the computer, like the earphones weren't great and the sound wasn't great. And it seemed like it's very inconvenient. So you could hear an echo in your earphones. So that was really distracting. So speaking was a bit more difficult. And usually I score about 8.5 in my speaking part. But this time I scored 7.5, which was absolutely low. That's why I'm planning to retake the test. And it was mostly because of the sounds I heard, because I couldn't hear the question properly. I just heard myself breathing in it.
So yeah, that's the pro cons. So basically, when you take the computer-based, the con is only the speaking one, the speaking part, right? Overall, it's like more beneficial to take.
Overall, yes, like the experience was pleasant. It was much easier to navigate, but the speaking part, I don't know, maybe if the technology wasn't faulty, maybe it would have been better, but that's the way it is.
Okay. So everyone, if you have questions and you are kind of shy to ask by like directly, you can type it. Like I have someone here saying that she wanted to. Okay, we have one here raising hand.
Yeah, and it's also.
Oh, how many? Delio da Costa. Maybe you can ask directly to the speaker. You can turn on your camera and microphone. You can introduce yourself and tell to whom you want to ask the question. Okay, it's not that loud. Nggak terlalu kuat suara.
Sorry. Can I ask question in Indonesian?
Oh yeah, sure. You can ask.
Yeah, sure. That's what I want to say. If you guys shy, I want to use bahasa, it's okay.
Yeah, just for Ainur.
No worries, it's okay. Absolutely fine with me.
Yeah.
Because my English is not really good and I just
it's totally okay.
Oke, Kak Oci, terima kasih untuk waktunya, untuk sharingnya juga tadi. Nah, ini yang tadi saya mau tanyakan itu tentang legalisasi ini ijazah sama transkrip kalau nggak salah itu. Karena berhubung saya warga negara Indonesia, tapi kemarin S1 saya itu saya ambil di Jakarta. Jadi saya bingung yang mau pakai itu legalisasi yang mana, yang dari Indonesia apa yang di negara saya gitu. Itu yang mungkin pertama. Dan untuk yang kedua kan mungkin rata-rata itu pasti ijazahnya semua dalam berbahasa Inggris, berbahasa Indonesia. Nah, saya ada beberapa yang sudah saya kemarin terjemahkan di itu yang terjemah tersumpah, tapi saya nggak tahu itu bakalan diterima sama EMJD atau enggak. Nah, jadi mungkin ada saran dari kakak kemarin translate di mana, mungkin bisa dikasih linknya atau jaringannya biar kita bisa akses ke sana gitu.
Maaf tadi kurang jelas. Jadi Delio itu dari Indonesia atau
dari Timor Leste tapi kuliahnya di Jakarta, gitu kan ya?
Oh jadi
kemarin
iya.
Dokumennya gimana?
Kalau misal kalau dari SIP Jakarta itu bukannya dari kalian ada ijazahnya apa dalam bahasa?
Oci frozen.
Kalau caranya mungkin
kamu nge-lag tadi.
Enggak, dari SIP-nya tersebut apakah ijazahnya dari bahasa Indonesia atau dalam bahasa Inggris?
Itu berbahasa Indonesia. Kalau di sana rata-rata bahasa Indonesia. Semuanya bahasa Indonesia yang kemarin kita dapat. Cuman yang transkripnya itu ada bahasa Inggrisnya sama ada bahasa Indonesianya juga. Nah, ijazahnya doang yang berbahasa Indonesia. Kita perlu untuk terjemahkan.
Oh iya. Jadi kalau di case saya itu bisa dipakai transkrip yang kemarin saya juga yang dari Undip, transkripnya dari bahasa Indonesia dan bahasa Inggris itu bisa dipakai. Tapi yang untuk ijazah itu, pertama mungkin bisa Anda translate dulu ke yang berbahasa dari bahasa Indonesia ke bahasa Inggris, lalu dicap notaris, lalu ke Kemenkumham, atau mungkin bisa tanya ke konsorsiumnya masing-masing apakah notaris saja itu sudah diperbolehkan atau sampai ke tingkat Kemenkumham. Karena di akhir itu saya juga melakukan legalisir lagi setelah saya diterima, saya melegalisir akte lahir saya itu karena ke kampus saya ada bahasa Perancis, jadi saya legalisir lagi ke Perancis, Spanyol, dan juga bahasa Inggris. Nah, semuanya juga di Kemenkumham sama Kemendikbud kalau nggak salah. Tapi itu kan setelah saya lulus. Tapi mungkin kalau misalnya Anda baru apply, mungkin bisa ditanyakan ke konsorsium apakah notaris saja sudah diperbolehkan atau sampai ke tingkat hingga Kemenkumham dan Kemendikbudnya dari Indonesia gitu. Ya, jadi tergantung. Tapi kalau transkripnya nggak apa-apa bisa itu. Yang penting mereka tahu kok sebenarnya itu intinya kayak mereka tahu ada proof-nya jika Anda sudah lulus dari bachelor degree yang Anda ambil gitu sih.
Aku boleh nambahin nggak? Kalau sworn translator, kalau dia udah tulisannya sworn translator, boleh kok dipakai itu biasanya. Dari manapun itu ada capnya.
Itu betul. Ya. Saya sudah kemarin sudah ini ya, sudah tersumpah. Saya buatnya online kemarin, nggak sempat buat di Jakarta, jadi saya udah sampai di sini baru saya buat. Nah kan ini kan jurusan saya kan mungkin hampir sama Kak Okta, iya Kak Oci. Terus yang mau saya rencanakan itu sama seperti punya Kak Oci, cuman yang mungkin nanti prosesnya seperti itu semua yang punya kakak kemarin udah lewati.
Iya benar. Mungkin kalau misalnya mau tanya langsung, jadi inti dari mentorship kita sebenarnya tuh ini kan umum. Nah setelah itu nanti bakalan kita tektokan one-on-one gitu loh teman-teman. Jadi kalian tetap ikuti terus acara kita webinar. Nanti di akhir, misal kalian tertarik dengan language dan social science, nanti ada mentor-mentornya seperti Kak Atifah nanti bakal ngebimbing, dan untuk misalnya tertarik dengan bidang sains nanti bisa secara pribadi nanti kita bikin grup bersama yang merin siapa, nanti kita bantu gitu sesuai dengan experience kita, karena fungsinya acara ini tuh sebenarnya dari Kak Atifah dan saya kemarin karena kita takutnya salah ketika kita anak sains kok ditanya sosial gitu atau sosial ditanya sains. Jadi dengan acara ini mungkin kedepannya setelah mentor general ini nanti akan ada seksi sendiri buat lebih ke secara personal ya Kak ya. Mungkin Kak Atifah ada tambahan?
Iya, oke. Kayaknya udah cukup sih dari Oci. Nanti bisa langsung ke Oci aja kalau memang sangat spesifik pertanyaannya terkait study plan karena beda kan ya. Atau tadi kalau dokumen berarti memang harus legalisir pemerintah Indonesia karena kamu kuliahnya di Indonesia. Itu Kemenkumham, Kemenlu, dan terakhir itu tergantung kedutaan dari negara yang kamu mau daftar, kayak gitu sih. Dan jaga-jaga bisa minta juga ke notaris. Notaris nggak mahal kok dan mudah, cepat. Ada notaris. Kalau waktu itu aku notarisnya di BSD, daerah BSD.
Iya. Atau sontar translator dulu gitu ya Kak ya, biar lebih.
Oke. Nanti boleh langsung tanya-tanya ya. Oke. Gimana? Kak Delio? Masih ada yang mau ditanyakan?
Terima kasih banyak.
Sama-sama. So now we have questions from, we have some from Anastasia, from Shilvana. Okay, the question is about PETAL, our program. I know. So she asked about the application process. So basically, she was checking the website and a bit confusing about information about application and time. And I will show you where we can like directly apply. It may be a bit confusing in some points. So I will show you this. So if you go to if you find petal EMJMD, click. I know it's COVID, that's why sometimes appear the information about this. I think like some programs have this as well, like postpone application and stuff. And close this one, you can go to the quick link directly. You don't need to go here. Here is information. You can take a look at our previous cohort, and then you can go to the quick links and go to the application process. And the application process, you will see the requirement, how to register, how to submit, and then you click this one, open petal application. There you go. You can create an account here if you want to apply. If you are new to this web, you can click here and then you can just, yeah, fill all the things. This is mine. Oh, they delete already. I think, okay. So basically there you need to check that one. Is that the question? Opening submission, yeah. You can, if it is not open yet, you can start to make an account first, and then as soon as it's open, you can submit it like right away. So that's for petal. And then they have a question for English test. I have TOEFL ITP certificate. Can I use that to apply for petal? I know.
Interesting. To be honest, I'm not sure because when I asked my classmates, pretty much everyone applied with the Ielts test. I'm not sure about the requirement, but I guess we can check on the website. Yes, Tifa?
Yeah.
Not
But
sure.
if they say Pearson, TOEFL IBT, but most of students in Europe, they usually use Ielts. That's what I understood.
It's more common.
Well. Yeah.
TOEFL is mostly for American universities.
Yeah. Yochi too as well, right? You use Ielts, right?
Yeah. Pretty much for every European program I applied with Ielts.
Yeah, so you better maybe prepare as well for Ielts.
But I'll double check just in case. Maybe there were some changes.
Yeah. I also would like to ask about how to convert the grades as petal required. I'm not sure about how to convert it.
What is it? What's
how to convert the grade? Did you do that?
The diploma, the bachelor's diploma, is it?
Yeah. I think the bachelor
convert. Oh, yes, I have the same question. Let's talk about how to convert grades that are required. Okay, I don't think I did that for petal. That's because at my university you can ask for diploma supplement. I don't know. Some of the universities provide that. Some of the universities don't. It is very individual and it depends on each university. But our diploma supplement was that it converted all the credits into the ECTC credits, and it converted all the grades into like the European grades. So.
Okay. In my case, because it's Indonesian, I used the SKS as well. And then they didn't, in our year, they didn't ask us to provide the document, like equivalency document about the grades. So it may be a new case, but if they ask you to have this equivalency certificate, like official one, you can go to WES. I know that's like a service. Like I was trying to apply in the US as well, and they asked for that. If that's the case, you can go to WES, the West, to give the equivalency grade. But if they only ask you to fill the column, do you still remember, I know when we need to fill the column, the lowest grade, the average, and the maximum grade? Yeah. Yeah, for Indonesian, you can do it like, I was looking for the peraturan pemerintah for the grading system GPA, and you can find it there and you can put it there in the table. So that's how I did it. Or it's usually appear in your transcript about the lowest and then average and the maximum score. So you can pick both, like you can check it in your transcript or you can check it in peraturan pemerintah about the grading system in Indonesia. That's the answer. Any more questions? Will petal application open on the 15th of December or will they close it at the date? They usually open around October, September, but if it is late, it's going to be that around that this time, like this year, last month of 2021, because they usually close in another year, like February in the next year. That's what usually happen. I know that they just started like the second cohort, right? I know.
Yeah, they started this September, as far as I know.
Yeah, they started the second cohort this September.
Yeah, so they're now in Cordoba.
Yeah, I think it's.
Can I add something, Tifa?
Yeah.
About TOEFL? Yes, they accept TOEFL, so you should be able to apply with that. I'm not
IBP
sure
or
about
ITP.
I don't know about ITP, but they said that they accept TOEFL. I don't know if there are different variations.
So they accept TOEFL, everyone. So you can use your TOEFL to apply for petal, but not the prediction one, all right? The official one.
I'm not sure. That's the thing. Like I'm not very familiar with TOEFL because I've never taken it.
Yeah,
but
usually
I
they
just know.
accept the official one, not the predicting one. Hello, my name is Putri. Thank you for the committee for creating this helpful webinar. Okay. Thank you for the speaker and that explanation. I would like to ask Kayochi because my internet was in trouble. When Kayochi explained about the documents needed, is that okay to use KTP as the proof of residence? And second question, in Euro-Pacific, we need to put our photo or not? That's the question.
Yeah. Thank you for asking, Putri. Yeah. By the way, for the resident proof, I use also the KTP, and also I asked the Lura. I don't know what's the English Lura means. Yeah, but I asked my Lura in my district, and he just signed it, and it just my proof for I also made the letter that I live here until from my childhood until this day, and just stated like that, and there is a sign from my Lura, and they just give a sign, and it can be as your proof, and also give a photocopy of your KTP. And about the Euro-Pacific, you can check the link. I send you the link. So in the link, it's really easy, guys. Like you just submit your own.
The question is, do we need to put the photo or not?
But the photo, I don't know, like recently we need to put a photo or not, but for in my year, I put my photo. How about you? Are you also using the Euro-Pacific? I don't know. I
think everyone uses Euro-Pacific for Erasmus.
Yeah.
And I put my photo as well.
Yeah, me too. But in my case, like several Germany, like I tried several jobs in German, and they don't want us to put the CV. But I don't like it. Is also in different programs like that, because like Europe, I mean, like European country is really private. So but like most of your CV, we need a photo, or you can check again, like in the link that I shared to you. Are they need you to submit your photo or not?
Yeah, usually if you are not like sure whether you want to put it or not, maybe you don't need to put it. Just okay. If you feel comfortable to put it, you can put it. It's really like, it doesn't really matter. Okay, just want to make sure. So the max for Indonesian are 4 and lowest is 2, right? GPA Indonesia.
GPA for, I mean, like this is the GPA for applying Erasmus, or?
Yeah, the GPA in Indonesia, the maximum is 4, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And the lowest is 2. Well, actually, there is, it is stated in peraturan pemerintah, you can find it. So you can also put that as a supplement document if you're not sure.
Oh, yeah.
And then Kayochi, for mayor, we have to convert SKS to ECTS?
Yeah, in my case, I don't need to convert anything. I just put my transcript and also my GPA. But I think because they understand about like, yeah, I think like here, if because like my Erasmus Mundus program from the marine environments, it's already started since 15 years ago. So they have a lot of alumni from Indonesia, and they always like pick two persons from Indonesia as the representative. That's why like they knew about like how grading systems in Indonesia, and that's why maybe they didn't ask me to convert it into the ECTS. And but yeah, at that time, like you just put your transcript and they know like the grading system in Indonesia. In my case for the MAR, but I don't know like for the other programs.
My program asked that. That's what
Oh,
everyone asks
really?
about this. But I already explained that, yeah, it's 2, the lowest, and the maximum is 4. But if you want to make sure, you can find it in peraturan pemerintah, they have it there. So I also checked that just to make sure myself. And then that's what I did as well. So for everyone here, if you have any question about the grading system, and if they ask you to provide the proof of GPA system, what I did is that I know the peraturan pemerintah has like pages, like a lot. I only translated like the 2 pages explaining about the GPA system. Exactly, there's like a matrix there, the GPA system of Indonesia, like 2, 2.5 or something. I forget. I don't remember that. But you just need to translate that one to the sworn translator, and then have it you have that one, and it's fine. It's totally fine. It is acceptable because I use that. So that's if you don't want to go to the WES, if they don't ask you the official equivalency certificate, that thing is work. So anything else? Anyone want to ask question? Thank you so much for the questions and the participations. If you still have any questions to Kauchi or I know about the test or anything about Petal, you can ask me and maybe send a link, like the screen capture of the requirement. They usually updated the requirement. Perhaps I don't know, like the Haga apostille, I know that one. So maybe I need that, but in Indonesian we don't need that one. Like we are not.
Yeah, I had to get the my diploma apostille. That was a very lengthy process. I don't know how it works in your country, but in our country it takes 15 working days. So make sure you do it in advance.
Yeah.
If you need to do one. But I know for Petal you're required to get the apostille document. Remember?
Yeah, but we
we
did that when we already accepted, right? Now they need to do it before they apply.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh,
So
before. Oh, yeah,
the
beforehand.
requirement has been updated. So for us, for Indonesian, we don't need the apostille stamp, but we need that one, the Kemenlu, Kemenkumham, and Kemendikbud for me, because I'm from private university. So that's from Petal. So if anyone still has any questions, doubts?
I think there is still one question for Silvani Sofia.
Oh, if I've already get our master degree from Indonesia, can I apply for Petal? Yeah, surely you can apply. We have one of our friends, right, Ainur, got already master already.
Hmm?
Yeah. If you.
Sorry.
The question is that if we get master already, can we apply for Petal? Yeah.
That's the thing. I think there are no limitations. I know that if you have a degree from Europe, there are some limitations. I think you're not allowed to apply as
worthy.
What is it, like you are not allowed to apply as a program country? You can apply as a partner country or something.
Oh yeah,
so
yeah.
there are
you
some
are
limitations.
In Europe
Remember,
for more than 5 years.
Yes, for more than a certain period of time. But I'm not sure it's applicable to a master's degree from your own country.
It's applicable. It's okay.
Yeah. In my case, most of my friends also have 2 masters. I mean, like, yeah, they have already mastered before and apply it again.
Yeah, it's totally okay. Thank you for the insightful presentation. Okay, we have another more questions. I learned a lot from both of you. Thank you so much for listening to us. I have a question related to the legalized version of my diploma. If there is a requirement on the web that I need to submit the legalized version by Ministry of Foreign Affairs, does it mean that I need to translate it first and then legalize it through Ministry of Law? And last step, sending it to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Kemenkumham and then Kemenlu.
I
Because
think
some
like if
Hmm.
I don't know, maybe you want to answer it, Kak Atika?
Oh yeah, we did it with the Kemenlu and then Kemenkumham and then Kemenlu. Or the other way
Yeah,
around.
but I think this process, if we have already accepted, I mean, if we have already accepted, so
No, in
we continue.
this year, some of the program have been already updated. They like ask that before they apply. That's why people here are asking question about that. Yeah, you need to translate that first. It's in my case because all my academic certificates are already in English, so I didn't do the translation. But if you have it in Bahasa Indonesia, you translate it first and make it legalized, like go to the notaries or something. Or if you're from private university, you need to go to the Kemendikbud, like Ministry of Education first, and then after that, you can go to Ministry of Foreign Affairs, and then Ministry of Law and Human Rights. So that's the translated version.
Yeah.
Okay.
And also make sure
Because-
have 2 copies, right? Because like
Yes.
at the end, they also need another from the.
Yeah, make it like, don't make only 1 copy, like make it like 2 or 3 copies. It's totally fine, just in case you need to send it. And not, I got one question before, like, should I make the official one that I that I stamp? Like, no, it's the copy one, the one that you copied from your original one. So not the original one, the copy one. And if you got the translated one, so that's the translated one, not the Bahasa Indonesia one, because you need to transfer it and send it to the consortium with the translations. That's why you need the translated one to be sent in Ministry of Law and Ministry of Foreign Affairs. That's why that's the complete version. And then, Kak, did you ask your UNIF to issue a certificate of the completion of degree stating that we will allow us? Yes, Mutia, yes. I request a specific letter to my dean stating that my degree, like Bachelor of Degree, Bachelor of Science from Indonesia, is allowing us to apply for postgraduate. The letter exactly stating that. So what I did back then, I typed my administrative office request for that letter, attach the program. That's why you ask this, because usually they ask for that, like, why did you ask this kind of letter? And then you can prepare the template, so they exactly can easily like fill what you want. So the statement in my letter is stating that Atifa Utami has already finished the Bachelor of Education, and this degree is allowing her to apply for the postgraduate in any other countries, or you can state like Europe or America or something like that. So that's exactly the letter that I asked. It may not be provided when you graduate, that you really need to ask specifically to the administrative office in your university. Okay, and then looks like some of us interested in Petal. Should we make a group?
Yeah, sure.
It's going to be like a mentorship with some other Petal alumni here. Maybe I can invite. Yeah, why? Why not? I will make a polling letter and then see how many of you will be interested in Petal, or maybe I can not only Petal, maybe specifically broadly about education, maybe Marihe, Globe, but I haven't found anyone from Globe. Do you have any colleague from Globe, like global policy education? Like a lot of my followers ask about Globe. Like I haven't found one in any group of my Erasmus. So maybe we can have a group with education major for Erasmus. And Ochi will lead the science one. We have other science people in the group. Okay, that's one. Is it okay to cross major? Because I'm not from early childhood education. So I know maybe can answer this.
Students in our course who didn't major in early childhood education. So as long as you explain it in your motivation letter, and if you explain why you need this degree and how it's going to help your professional career, usually Erasmus Mundus programs don't mind that. So should be all right.
Yeah, it should be all right. That's also for my colleagues.
Just think about substantiating your reasons.
Yeah, adjusting a reason why you want to apply. Like it's not like you're from oceanography going to education, but maybe you have something there. Like you teach kids about stuff like climate change or stuff like that. Maybe you can adjust that. Like it's multidisciplinary world, so you can actually explore what you can offer to the program.
Okay. But sorry, may I add something?
Yeah.
Yeah, because my experience, I have experience about renewable energy and I want to apply for the Erasmus Mundus renewable energy in marine. But yeah, unfortunately, like they just want the engineer or specifically about the mechanical. So make sure like if you want to try that one, make sure your degree also what they really want. That's why, if not, like you're just wasting your time for applying.
Yeah,
and also,
not that far. So making sure it's not that far. Like maybe if you're from education, like any field of education, you can try. Psychology education is still like, you know, similar roots of field. So it takes less energy when you prepare the application. Okay, I think it's the end of today's session. Everyone has already asked questions, and if you have any more doubts, we still have group chats. You can ask there. We can maybe create that group that you are proposing. And then at the end, I would like to invite everyone to open up the camera. Maybe we can take a picture for today's mentorship. We're going to have another mentors for next week. I'd like to see everyone's faces here. So maybe Ainur can take a look at. So basically some of them have already been here. Like we had the launching and stuff like that. Webinar with Tuan. I invited Tuan last week.
Oh yes, I've seen the ad.
Yeah. So let's see. I will invite maybe Doan or someone else like Shofak. They're so busy this week. Like, okay.
Nice. I hope we can meet up in Istanbul. Hopefully.
Hopefully next year.
Ochi,
I will have graduation in Istanbul. You can visit us.
Wow. I need a visa now.
Really? You need a visa to Istanbul?
But like, yeah.
POA.
Yeah, but for your graduation.
Yeah. We can chill out in Istanbul. Let's take a picture of this afternoon mentorship. It's morning, like super early for me. Where's everyone? They're taking time to open up the camera. Well,
what time is now? I know in there. Sorry.
What?
No.
I know it's in Kazakh, right now?
I'm in Kazakhstan, yeah. Today is the first day of snow. It's really cold outside today.
It's nice. You know, snow in Kazakh is like a thick snow. Like in
now it's okay. Now it's warm because it's like -5. But
warm for I know it's -5 is warm.
Yeah, we have -40 in the winter, so it's okay.
It's
comparatively
for me. We'll just not go anywhere, just under the blanket. Okay, we're good. Take a picture. Only one slide. 1, 2, 3. Second one. I know that everyone not opening the camera, but it's okay. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you.
Have a great day.
Thank you, God. Thank you.
Great
It
afternoon.
was a pleasure.
Thank you, Aino, for coming. Thank you so much.
No problem. My pleasure. It was fun.
Enjoy your
It was a
weekend.
great opportunity. You too, guys. Bye. Have a nice day.
Bye.